Hi everyone, this is Susan with the Rhinestone World. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this cute school pennant using white Caesar Easy Weed HTV. I'm going to design it in my Silhouette Studio software and cut it out using my Cameo 3 before I press this design onto this wool pennant using our 15 by 15 Max clam press. All right, let's go. Alright, so I'm here in Silhouette Studio version 4. This is Business Edition, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paste in a picture of the mascot that I'm going to use, and I'm going to come back to that in just a few minutes. But first of all, I want to figure out my layout for this pennant. So in this case, I know that I want to put a picture of the mascot and put the name of the school around it, and I'm going to put the mascot name across here at an angle. So I want to replicate the size of this so I know what I'm working with. And the first thing I'm going to do is come over here to the page setup and change the width to 24 inches. And that's not the size of my design, that's just how big I want to make my design page so that I can visualize what this pennant is going to look like on there. So I have measured my pennant and I know that it's 8.5 inches high. So I'm going to draw a line over here that is, I'm going to use my shift key while I do this so that's perfectly straight up and down. And I'm going to make it 8.5 inches. And I'm going to come up here to hit escape to get rid of the little crosshairs. And I'm going to select the line and I'm going to come up to change the exact height of it to 8.5, but I want to show you something. If I were to lock the aspect ratio and make this 8.5, look at what happened to my line. It like disappeared. But I need to actually unlock this since the width won't change. It's just the height. So I'm making that exactly 8.5 inches high. And I'm going to move it really close up here to the top corner. And I'm going to also draw the top and bottom of the pennant. And I know that this needs to be about 23 inches long. I'm going to close this. And this one also should be about 23 inches long. And that's good. So notice where I'm at over here. I want it to be at about 4.25 for the point of my pennant, and I'm pretty close. So I'm good with this. This will just give me a frame of reference. Again, I don't really want to cut these lines, so right before I send it to my Cameo, I'm going to delete these lines. But the next thing that I want to do now that I have the triangle set up is I want to write the name of the school. So in this case, I'm going to make two separate, one for the top and one for the bottom, to go around the mascot. And so I'm putting them in two separate text boxes, and I selected them both, and I'm going to come over and color them black just so that I can see them. I don't think the black will show up on a maroon pennant, so I'm actually going to cut it in white HTV, Caesar Easy Weed, and I'm just doing this so that it'll show up so I can see it better. I'm changing my font size while I have these both still selected, and I also want to change the font that I'm using, and this one is College Black. Notice I kept that in all lowercase just so it would keep the same size of each letter. So in order to put these in the shape of a circle, I'm going to come over here to the circle tool and I'm going to hold down shift so that I can make a perfect circle. And I want this circle to be 5.2 inches in diameter. So I'm going to come over here to change that so it's just a little bit bigger. And now I want to use the text to path, So if I double click on this text box and move this over to the circle, it will take the shape of the circle eventually. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to also move the bottom one over that says high school. And in this case, I don't want my words to be upside down. So I'm going to play with this just a little until it turns the other way, because I actually want these words, oh, there it was. I want these words on the inside. And for some reason my little slider is way over here, so I'm just going to slide this so that it's it kind of changes the spacing at the same time while it moves it apart a little. So I like that. And now I want to be able to put this over here, but if I just pick this up and move this text box, it's going to lose the circle shape. So while I have it selected, I'm going to do Control E, that's the shortcut for making compound path, and I'm going to move this over. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to select the box, Control E, now it'll hold that shape. And then I really don't need this circle anymore, so I'm going to delete it. And here was our mascot. So I actually called the school, and this is not trademarked, so anyone can use it. I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to trace this. So I'm going to select the trace area, and we have some videos on tracing if you want to learn a little more about tracing. So just follow the links to see some more YouTube videos on tracing. So I'm just selecting the area, and I'm going to do an outline and trace. And it looks like it didn't do anything, but if I move this away, there's my traced shape that I want. So this one I don't want, because if I were to actually send this to cut, notice there are no cut lines in here, there are no red lines. So it's not ready to cut. So I can delete this because I don't need that anymore. I just want this one. But I also noticed that it has this little blob in it over here. So I'm going to select the whole thing and release the compound path by right-clicking, and that's going to break it up into all these little pieces, and that allows me to come over here to this little dot and remove it. So now if I select everything again and do Control E, it's all one compound path again. And just to check that, I'm going to fill it in and see if it fills in, which it does perfectly. So I know that I'll have good cut lines. And I know that the width of this, I want it to be 5 inches wide, so let's see how he fits in here. That looks perfect. So we have that much done. The last thing we need to do is to add the word pirates, but I want it to be at an angle. And Silhouette Studio does not offer that feature yet. There's no word art, so we're going to do a quick little workaround using Microsoft Word. So I'm going to bring this over and just show you how you can do this. So I'm going to go into Insert, Word Art, and I'm going to type in the mascot name, and I'm going to also change the font because I know the one that I want. And now that I have this box, if I double click on this box, it opens up a different menu, format menu here. And if I go to Text Effects, Transform, and choose the Cascade Up, now it's starting to get in an angle. And if you'll notice, there's a little yellow dot here, and I can use this one to manipulate it just a little more to make it more angled. So that looks pretty good. Now I can take this, and I'm going to do Control C to copy it, and I'm going to go into PowerPoint and paste it. And now that I've pasted it in PowerPoint, I can save this as a JPEG. And that's perfect because I know that I can then insert that. But before I do that, I need to change the file type down here to JPEG. So I'm going to save it, And do I want all slides or one? It doesn't matter because there's just one anyway. And so now it's telling me that it has saved it for me. So I can close out a PowerPoint, I can close out a Word because I don't need those, and I can come up here and open a JPEG file. So now when I open this, it creates a new tab for me. I just want to copy this and go back to where I was. So I'm going to paste it in here, and now the only thing I have left to do is to trace this. And I'm going to select the trace area, trace this, do an outline, and now I don't need that anymore. And now I have my words at an angle that will fit on my pennant. So I'm going to fill in those letters just so I can visualize it. I'm going to see how they fit, and I'm going to play with this a little bit until it's exactly how I want it. I don't need my word to go all the way to the end, but I just want it to have that effect of getting a little smaller. I'm going to play with this a little bit. Alright, that looks good. And so before I forget, I want to delete my triangle because I don't need that anymore. And looks like it's ready. So I'm going to get ready to cut it. And if you notice, it's cut off because it thinks that I'm using a mat and that I'm trying to cut more than 12 inches of vinyl. And I've said that I have a mat that's 12 inches long, so it's warning me the cut line's there. I need to change this. So I'm actually going to move this because I don't want to waste the vinyl. So I'm going to first select this all and flip it, since I'm going to be flipping it anyway, and then I'm going to arrange this so that it makes the best use of my vinyl. I want to select all of these and move them at the same time. So I'm actually going to put them a little closer. I can even turn this if I want to so that it fits in the corner better. And now I can go up to my design page and change my size back to 12, and I am cutting with a mat. And my cut lines look good. I am not cutting on cardstock, however, so I'm just going to change my material to my where'd it go? Caesar Easy Weed, and I just need to plug in my Cameo. So it's telling me that it can't connect. And looks like it is ready. My design has finished cutting, so I'm going to read this and turning on my heat press to get it warmed up so we can get ready to press it. Alright, I'm finished weeding and it's time to go over to the heat press and put this on our pennant. Okay, I'm ready to press our design, and this is a wool pennant. I'm going to give it a little bit of a quick pre-press just for a second. And I want to place this carefully on the pennant. So this is a great way to do this lettering in Word, since Silhouette doesn't have word art yet. And I'm just going to line this up. I'm going to press it for 15 seconds on 305 degrees, and that's for Caesar Easy Weed. And that looks good. I'm going to turn this sideways so that I can get the whole design in one press. And there it is. If you like this video, please click like below and be sure to subscribe here to the Rhinestone World so you don't miss anything. And please call us or email us if you have any questions. Our phone number is 941-755-1696, or you can email us at info@therhinestoneworld.com. Thanks for watching.